Maiko is the bearer of the Hanged Arcana, and she is this bright and cheery young girl that hangs out at Naganaki Shine's playground. She's just a ball of sunshine, and she wanted Makoto to play with her on the playground. And how could you say no to a smile like that? So Makoto decided to just hang out with her and make her day any time that the two of them hung out. However, when you start to hang out with her more and more, you learn that her home life was in a pretty rocky place at the moment. This was because her mom and dad were in the middle of getting a divorce right now. Maiko begged and pleaded for them not to, but it didn't really work. Her parents just ended up fighting all the time, and it made Maiko really uncomfortable and confused. She didn't understand why they would even want to get a divorce. Shouldn't your parents love each other unconditionally? Not to mention her dad hadn't been coming home a lot these days. And it was her birthday soon. He didn't even ask her what she wanted for her birthday, and it made her question if her parents even loved her. She thought that if they did, they wouldn't get a divorce and break up the family that she loved so dearly. Luckily, her parents aren't evil, and they didn't forget Maiko's birthday. The two of them threw her a party with tons of presents, and even a cake. They were both so happy and had the biggest smile on their faces. It had been so long since they all had eaten together as a family. It was something that she was missing for a long time, and she wished that things could go back to the way that they were. And she thought that maybe if she figured out the reason that they wanted a divorce, she could be the one to help them fix it. And so, she decided that this was how she was going to save her family. She was going to ask them why and make everything better again. However, things didn't go according to plan. When she tried asking her dad why he was getting a divorce, he hit her out of retaliation. He told her to stay out of it, and her mom said it was her fault for asking for so much. And it made her question if they even loved her once more. Why were they acting this way? Did they even love her anymore? Or did they just want her to disappear? Thankfully, Makoto reassured to her that that was not the case, and it helped her calm down for a second. And when she had calmed down, an idea came to Maiko's mind. What if she ran away from home? I mean, if they loved her, they would try to find her for sure, right? She didn't jump on the gun on this idea right away, and she let the idea bake for a little bit longer. But her parents would not stop fighting. It was making her really upset, and she decided that this was the only way. She was going to run away from home, and after some careful deliberation with Makoto on what she should bring with her on her adventures, she decided to pull the trigger. She went to the playground one last time to say goodbye to Makoto because she didn't know when they would see each other again, and he watched her ride off into the sunset. Which is the only stupid decision that Makoto makes in this game. Like, you encouraged a child to run away from home. What a bad influence! You were so close to being a huge Giga Chad for this entire game, but it looks like that trophy has to go to none other than Chad Naruka! Luckily, moments after Maiko left, a middle-aged couple had approached Makoto to see if he had seen a young girl. But before they could elaborate on who this girl could be, they started to argue instantly. It was clear as day that these were Maiko's parents. And by the time that Makoto recognized who they were, Maiko's dad recognized Makoto. Maiko told him all about their interactions, which made her mother incredibly furious. This was because she didn't tell her about this, and Maiko was supposed to be going to her paid piano lessons instead! And she is very concerned about what Makoto could have done to her. But Maiko's dad helped calm her down. He explained that they found a note saying that she was going to run away, and that they really wanted to look for her. And so, they joined forces with Makoto because he might have an idea of where she could be. And Makoto knew just the place. The takoyaki stand! Because it was one of the only places that they hung out during their social link. The other option was a music store. And I didn't discover a music store during my 275 hours of playing this game. But the point is that it was a very special spot for them, and that was where they were going to look. And what do you know? She was right there! And she was in shock when she saw both of her parents searching for her. Her parents asked her if she was okay, and she was. Her parents were looking for her together, and it made her really happy. Her mother then scolded her on why she would do this, and she told her the truth. She was scared of them getting a divorce, and she started to break down. Seeing her reaction to this made her parents realize how she truly felt. And they decided that they were going to take her back home to talk to her about it. And when they got home, she listened to them. They told her that when there was no love in the relationship anymore, it's kind of hard to stay married. They told her that no matter what, they would still love her. And she came to terms with this and told them that it was okay that they were getting a divorce. And she had to decide who she was going to live with now. On one hand, her dad gets her lots of toys and buys her so many things. But her mom had been crying a lot from the weight of the divorce, and she would feel bad if she left her all alone. But on the other hand, her mom was going to move far away, and if she went with her, she wouldn't be able to hang out with Makoto anymore. But after some deliberation, she decided that she was going to live with her mom. It was a tough decision, but her mom couldn't do a lot on her own. She could barely cook or clean, so Maiko wanted to be there to help her out. And she knew that her dad was going to be fine, but it was still going to be awful that she wouldn't be able to hang out with Makoto because of how far away the two of them would have to move. So she cherished every last moment that they would have together. This was because she really cared about Makoto. Without his guidance, she would have been so lost. There was no telling how she would have coped with this huge change in her life. And she was so happy that she had this time with him. Every moment that she had with Makoto brightened her day. She had made a true friend that got her through this tough time, and she started to feel something. She had feelings for Makoto, and she hoped one day the two of them could get married. Maiko then gave Makoto a promise ring to signify this promise, and gave him a peck on the cheek before she moved away.
Disclaimer, you cannot romance Maiko. I know that there's romance in this game, but I will repeat myself, you cannot romance Maiko in this game. You should not want to romance a child in the first place. Don't fuck children!
Maiko's story is one that shook me to my core when I first played it, and still is as I'm recording this video. It took this bright and optimistic character and threw them for a loop. And a child, no less. Her parents were her whole world, and it was really hard to hear her describe her experiencing this loss. I cannot imagine what it would be like to go through something like this, and she's 9!
She's just a kid, and she's having to deal with this life-changing event, and it really broke my heart because I don't want that to happen to me because I have younger brothers as well, and I wouldn't want them to experience something like that. And I was just picturing them going through that during the social link, and it was just a lot. It was pretty painful, to be honest.
While I haven't experienced my parents going through a divorce, the thought of my parents separating is a scary thought. And this social link helped me understand the pain that somebody would go through during a divorce. And overall, her story is something that so many pieces of media don't want to talk about, and is something that I recommend that you experience. Even if you just watch it through Faz's playthrough of this social link on YouTube, it still hits hard. And I think that it's one of the most impactful stories that I've ever experienced in any type of media.
But let's change the subject. Let's talk about something a bit lighter than divorce.
Did you know that the character Chikachita from hit anime and manga series Dandadan was actually inspired by the Persona 3 character Maiko Ohashi? This is because of them using cows to help them survive, with Chikachita needing to drink cow's milk so she could continue living on, and Maiko eating burgers at Wild Duck as a way to not go clinically insane during her parents' divorce. But hey, that's just a theory. A Persona theory. Roll the credits.
儚くたゆたぶ世界を君の手で守ってから今はただ翼を畳んでゆっくり眠